Alright, so today I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions that, the people... How's it going, Spotlights? My name is TheNextGenius, and welcome to a very special episode today. I know y'all been waiting for this. I made a community tab post the other day telling you, leave some questions because I'm going to be interviewing Photo Negative Mickey about the Five Nights at Max Tonight series. And today is the day. I'm doing that right now, and we are joined by the man himself, Photo Negative Mickey. Why don't you say hello?
What? Hello? What? Who am I? Who are you?
Alright, so today I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions that the peeps left. We have a lot of questions, in fact. We have 48 questions, and there were actually more than that, but they were either asking for Mac Tonight 4, or they were, dumb questions that did not need to be answered. But the rest of them here, all 48 of the ones that I'm looking at right now, are legitimate questions, and I'm going to ask all of them. So grab the popcorn.
Me the whiskey. I'm in for one hell of a ride.
Yeah, grab the popcorn, grab the snacks. Let's get ready and get right into this interview, shall we?
Yeah.
Alright, so our very first question comes from S Rank. Did you think the series would get this big?
No. To be honest, I was never expecting the series to get big, but because, from the time when I first made the original, I thought the graphics were one of those that would be near the very bottom of the FNAF fan games list, just above MS Paint.
It wasn't that bad.
Nothing's worse than MS Paint, but at the time when I first made Mac Tonight, my modeling skills back then weren't very good, and with a lot of people used to call Mac Banana Red, since the remodel update, you could easily tell that he's got an improvement, but the rest of the characters just didn't look that good, because at the time when I first made the original, I thought the characters just looked so accurate, and just when you're onto future games, you just look back and think, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I originally thought that that's where the dead meme came from. I originally thought that Mac looked like the moon from the Moon Pie packages. It's like that. Boy, that's
even though the Moon Pie package moon is yellow. I don't know
right.
Why you thought that.
I don't know either. It's a dead meme where it's water under the bridge. We've moved on from that. Our next question is from WhittishButton63. What things have you learned while making the Mac Tonight games and improving on them?
Well, what I've learned is node editing, which is from Ramen, which is what gives the cameras that kind of distorted look, what makes light actually have that glow emission type of look with the little foggy bits around it, basically making it look more like a light instead of just a plain glowing object. It just actually gives it a lighting effect. And for going on from the original, I've actually learned new tactics of lighting, new techniques of modeling, and from just past times I've just improved that modeling, which helped me create the more newer, more fresh, accurate characters. So as well, with the more better looking rooms and the better cameras, GUI and all that, with all that, it helps make the series stand out more.
I can agree with that. You look at the very first Mac Tonight model, and then you look at the Mac Tonight 2 remastered Mac model, and you're like...
Thing is, about the first Mac head, going from that to the ones I've got now, I've went about through 6 to 7 different looks of Mac.
Yeah, you can see on my Mac Tonight ranked thumbnail, you can see all the Macs, and it's so cool to seeing the transition.
Even with that thumbnail, there's still Mac Tonight heads out there on my computer that have not been shown to the public. Some may have, but a lot of others just baby betas, alpha looks, just ones that never made into the final cut, or just ones that I made just to kill some time and try and get better at modeling Mac, because modeling a moon-shaped head with a face isn't the easiest thing to do.
Yes, you could say those are the real forgotten ones.
Boy, if you
Next question is from Snaker75. What Five Nights with Mac Tonight game do you classify as your best?
I would say Five Nights with Mac Tonight 2 Remastered. A lot of people.
That I agree with. I agree with that. 100%.
With this particular Mac Tonight game, unlike all the others, excepting from 3, it's not a sound type of. It's not a sound mechanism game. Like with this, you actually have to pay more attention, and it's actually more challenging, because especially with the 2 monitor setup, with that, you just don't camp in one camera. When you hear the vent, that's when you get that alert. You have to quickly switch from monitors instead of the easier way where you just click a button, it goes onto another floor.
Yeah.
And with a lot of FNAF fan games, they would have it so you click a button, it goes to another floor. So I would decide to kind of take a little turn with that and kind of make it more challenging as for players to keep quickly switching between the 2 monitors just to quickly get back in time to unlock a door if it's low.
Yeah, that was my absolute favorite thing about Mac Tonight 2 Remastered, was the fact that like the cameras were so essential, and if you didn't use the cameras, you were dead. And that's something that FNAF games don't do anymore, really. You know, most FNAF games these days are just looking around the office and getting rid of AI. Like, the cameras are usually pretty useless after, like, maybe the first night.
Yeah, some fan games actually wait for the characters to actually enter the office instead of actually stopping them before they enter the office. So, like, they're already in, but then you have to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what the original FNAF 1 did, which you know, still remains the classic. But that's the whole point of the camera checking. You check to see where they are, and then if they're outside the office, then you close. You don't wait until they're in the office. That defeats the whole point of the cameras.
You're more paid attention to your environments instead of just having the camera down and just waiting for them to enter. You always have to check left and right to see if they're at the doors, because if they're there, then you're just basically screwed once they're in.
Yep, and that's how it should be, really. I hope more FNAF games do that in the future. If there are more, you know, bigger developers out there that are making games, I hope that they focus more on the cameras.
Mechanics, they're trying to get... Mechanics are really getting low on original ideas, and if you try and use one, then they may have already been used. So you're trying to scratch the bottom of the barrel right here, trying to find some new, juicy, original mechanics that have never been used before.
Yep, and that's why I like Mac Tonight 3, because Mac Tonight 3 had the water. But I guess I think somebody asked what your favorite mechanic was in a later question, so I think we might get to that later. Next question is from Tony the Master. What was the inspiration behind the Five Nights of Mac Tonight series?
Well, I actually wanted to make my own video explaining behind the story tonight. Well, not the actual story, just how they came into think. Thing is, the original Mac Tonight game wasn't going to belong to me. It was going to belong to me, Liquid Lamps, and another one called Mr. Manatee, who had the idea for the game in the first place, right?
Right, I remember him.
And we were trying to make this Mac Tonight game, which the Mac Tonight was made by Manatee, very old, very unrealistic, and I actually have a lot of rooms that were made for it, but I don't think anyone ever saw them. Like, while Bud is editing this, breaking the 4-4 right here, I might send in some of glimpses of the rooms that was originally going to be in this one with Mac Tonight, not like, you know, the very, very early Mac Tonight game, and rooms just look so old, and that's, but what made me want to go into my own games, my own Mac Tonight series, is the fact, no offense to Manatee, but he was taking so long to actually get to work on the game. Me and Lamps actually started coming up with our own ideas for Mac, and we decided to take our own paths together and go and make our own version of the game. So while Five Nights with Mac Tonight was in development, Manatee's One Night with Mac Tonight was as well in development then. But before I was actually being done, he still couldn't have time to finish his, and he ended up having to cancel the whole project altogether.
Yeah, I remember seeing little glimpses of that. I'm interested to see how those rooms look, because I don't think I've seen those. You might have shown them to me at one point, but I definitely don't remember what they look like. But yeah, if you send me those, I'll flash them up on the screen, because that sounds cool.
If you edited them on, people can see what the what the look of it was going to be. It was still going to be set in a McDonald's, but the rooms, the layout was absolutely different compared to what there is now. And I doubt there'll ever be a game with those renders in, and I won't be giving them out, so no.
All right, our next question is from abid680513. Do you like the mechanics in Five Nights with Mac Tonight series? I'm guessing he's saying, do you like the mechanics in all the games?
I like them all, but I would say the ones except for the second game original, because yes, it may have been like a reskin. That's one of the reasons, and it's where the generator was just like a music box. Over the alarm, it can't. Looking back, and especially from the old Trini stream, just listening to the alarm over and over and over, just actually gets to you. It just starts giving you a migraine. I actually ended up having a headache that night because of the alarm itself.
It was definitely pretty loud. But,
So I would say I like the mechanics, but except for the second game original, I think that actually turned out to be pretty bad.
Well, you redeemed it in Mac Tonight 2 Remastered, so...
Yeah, everything was sorted and that actually stands out, and people actually like the second game nearly over anything else in the Mac Tonight series. I'm gonna have to put up a poll asking who's his favorite.
Next question is from Thunder Inky. Who was the character that creeped you out the most?
Ooh, I would actually say Ronald.
I agree. Ronald's pretty creepy.
Look. Yeah, the zombified look, the eye holes, easily tell with the detail in them. But well, you know, the features that they added, sides being plucked out, his skull, and the insane smile that I've given him.
Yeah,
just kind of gives you that feeling.
That's nightmare fuel right there.
I do not feel safe around that clown.
No, I didn't either, man. Especially when you open up the camera on night 3 and Mac Tonight Remastered, and you go and see him coming out the door. Woo!
Especially with the part in the original where he's actually up close and personal to.
I remember the first time he showed up in the camera, I was like, oh! I don't know what his mechanic is. Hi. Oh, hi! Oh, hi! Next question is pretty much the exact opposite of the previous. It's from MeLee48284. Who is your favorite character you created from any game?
If you would say like who I had fun with making the character, or which one I actually really liked making, I think I just repeated the question. But I would say Birdie or Ham, because I think those two, especially Birdie, I think is the most accurate representation of the mascot Birdie from McDonald's I've ever done. And ever since I completed it for the first time, ever since the original, looking at Birdie compared to that just really made me happy inside, knowing that I have created a model that's actually way more accurate comparing it to the original, seeing how much I've grown. I think Birdie's got to be my number one most favorite model I've ever created in the Max Tonight series.
Yeah, adding on to that, the next question actually was from Villager8 Games. What character did you enjoy modeling the most? And I assume that the answer is the same with that, Birdie, right?
Well, they could go towards that one then.
Yeah, so those two are pretty similar. But yeah, I agree. Birdie was definitely the most realistic and most accurate because, you know, you see I'll put a picture up on the screen and then compared to the actual Birdie, and I'm pretty sure they look pretty similar. But yeah, when you see her in Mac Tonight Remastered, especially when you see her and then you hear the bah, you're dead. There's nothing you can do. Just accept your fate.
Mr. and Mrs. Dent.
Oh God, no, don't remind me of that. This question is from Anything Else. Who's your favorite McDonald's character and what's your favorite McDonald's food?
My favorite McDonald's food, firstly, is for chicken McNuggets. And nearly every time I go there, I get a box of 20 because I'm a fat sod.
20? Dang. The most I get is 10.
I have 20 all to myself. And my favorite character is, of course, got to be Mac. I like his look. I like his design. I like his song. I think
his song is catchy, man.
Yeah,
I agree.
I really like the character itself. So I think my favorite McDonald's character would be Mac Tonight.
I agree. Mac is a pretty cool character. I think he's my favorite too, honestly, because how could you
tell the game Salmon really likes him too for his jazz side.
Yep, the jazz salmon. He put Mac Tonight in the hospital, apparently. All right, our next question is from Oof Trap. What made you make the games? Was it McDonald's? He's basically asking, was the inspiration for, you know, the Mac games? I assume it probably was McDonald's, right? Was that your inspiration?
I guess you could say from that. I guess you could just repeat that answer from earlier about the moment I have with Manatee and Liquid Lamps, because that's basically how the series still came into place. But the idea of the game set around Mac and his character, I really kind of liked the sound of. Kind of wanted my own take on it, because the original, where we were working on with Manatee, as said, it was completely different and everything was really different. The office even just had one entrance and there'd be a window behind you, and I think the One Night with Max and I game was meant to be kind of a goofy type of one, because when you see Mac behind you, you can actually you see his fingers at the window frame at the bottom. The mechanic was to slam your window onto his fingers, and then it'll fall out onto the floor, and it would reset.
That's kind of gruesome. Our next question is from Jamie Alvarado. Do you have any plans for future games besides Five Nights at Mac Tonight?
As of now, no. But with collaboration projects like Five Nights with Bud, Pyromania, with Rapid, those are still on the way. But I'm wanting to one day go into something original. But if it's another Five Nights game, it's kind of low. Depends on my motivation. Like, for some reason, I've always wanted to do a Chuck E. Cheese type of game, but I'm not very sure if I want to go with that idea yet. I have discussed it before. We might go with it. We don't know, but if I decide to go with it, I'll let everyone know. But as of now, kind of a no.
If you ever do make a Chuck E. Cheese game, please do not make it as hard as the original Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese. That game is impossible.
The Chuck E. Cheese from back then.
Gosh, that freaking game, dude.
I don't even think I could make it past night 3. And with that game's atmosphere where you're playing, I don't really think that looks like the atmosphere for being a Chuck E. Cheese restaurant. Because that's where it's meant to be set. Like, what kind of room is that meant to be?
Yeah, it's like you're in a cave. Like the office you're in is like a cave. It's like
I've never understood it, but yeah.
But it was really hard, that's for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't even make it past night 3 or 2, I think.
All right, this question's from AJ Zomboss. What was the first FNAF fan game you ever played?
The first, I would just say FNAF, because Burns Treasure Island, yes, I think that is my first FNAF game I've ever played. FNAF fan game, not FNAF game.
You know, that might be my first ever, too. I'll have to look back. I think Financial Treasure Island was the first one I ever played, too, now that I think about it. I don't think there was anything else.
I first saw the game on Markiplier and Risk Grim, and I really liked the idea of a FNAF brand game with mixed with Disney characters, but at the time I never knew it's actually part of a creepypasta, so really intriguing to me, and I decided to give it a shot, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it was, it scared me, too. Like, this was back, like, this was, you know, late 20, or actually early 2015, and, you know, I still hated horror games, so it was kind of difficult for me to play, because it was, you know, hard, so I didn't like playing those, but yeah, it's interesting. The first FNAF game we ever played was the same one. It's interesting. Yeah. All right, this next one comes from Tylerland264. Who do you think is the most annoying character to deal with? Can be from any game in the series. I already know the answer to this one, but what's yours?
Grimace in it.
I was about to say that. Grimace from Mac 1. Whoa. Actually, there's no way to deal with him. There's no way to deal with him. What am I... Ugh. Grimace.
At the time, I actually had no idea how you could deal with him. There was originally a plan for you to deal with him when he's in the kitchen, but it never came to me what his plan was. So I just left it with him just being a righteous troll and just turning off the camera. Not camera,
the sound thing.
Sound mechanic.
But that was redeemed in Mac Tonight Remastered. You can at least deal with him in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grimace has been
annoying. I don't really think I find any of the mechanics annoying to me.
I don't either.
But seeing how I planned them, annoying mechanics came from an annoying guy. So equal.
This next one is from the channel of Stuff. Mickey, what's your favorite game that you have made? I'm guessing any game that you've made besides the Mac Tonight games.
Besides from Mac Tonight games, oh lord. If it came for, well, seeing how the only other series I've ever done was Fnatic, I'd say one of the NBD games or The End of Disney.
End of Disney was a good one. End of Disney was good. I enjoyed that one. It was creepy.
Yeah, and that's how we met.
Oh yeah, that is how we met. Remember you commented on like part 2 or something of that. Well, that was so. That's coming up on freaking 2 years. Actually, it was 2 years ago, man. Almost 2 years ago. This next one is from Luke Udder. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Did the other Kris in the canceled third game have a different name, or was it just Kris? He's talking about the original Mac Tonight 3, the one that was supposed to be in the factory.
He'd still be called Kris. There was no other name for him. Because it's still the same character. He may have been a bit more tampered, he may have been a bit more broken from the years that went by. But no, his name still remains the same. He had no other plan. But the other characters were going to be known as prototypes because with the main ones destroyed, the prototypes were like early designs of what they were going to be before they were scrapped, but the design or they didn't work properly. So that's what they would have been known as, but Kris is Kris.
This next question is from Mr. Faxo. When did you first learn about Mac Tonight?
When I was making the Fnatic games, Mr. Manatee offered me to help him with the One Night with Moonman game, which was originally going to be called Moonman, because at the time I never knew it was called Mac Tonight. Upon releasing a teaser trailer for the One Night with Moonman, and there was a lot of backlash because I never knew that name associated with the racist meme that's been created back in like 2006 or 20 somewhere back then. But upon doing my research afterwards and finding the commercials and finding out it's actually called Mac Tonight, the song and that, the character kind of, I really liked how he sounded, how he looked, and that's how I started learning more about Mac Tonight. I just started listening to his his commercials daily, just seeing what he was like in his personality.
Yep, I first learned about Mac Tonight from Five Nights at Mac Tonight. So I never knew about Mac Tonight before I played the series, but now I know all about him.
Five Nights at Mac Tonight really opened a lot more eyes to the mascot, because a lot of people in this generation don't know who he is. With him being a 1980s character, youngsters these days wouldn't really know who he is. But with this, I think he's really attracted more of an audience in this year, because more people now know who he is and what he was about.
Yeah, they should bring him back. It would be cool to have a 2018 return of Mac Tonight.
Yeah, they do. They should let me sponsor.
This question is from Cinnamon Bun. Will there ever be a possibility of a McDonald's Tycoon game? I am not asking for you to make a new game.
In all honesty, I've always wanted to make something like that. Like, looking at Fazbear of Freddy's Pizza Simulator, the Fazbear, I don't know. Freddy's Pizza Simulator really made me open my eyes to like this new whole mechanic, this whole new gameplay of what I meant, of being in a restaurant. Like, instead of being sat in an office ending up the characters, you can actually just make your own location. And for some reason I've always wanted to do this with Mac Tonight, because if you go to a McDonald's, it's not every single building, it's not going to be the same. Some may be small, some may be big, like the one in Florida,
right?
And with that idea, making your own McDonald's, it could actually just be like, could just be like another McDonald's somewhere out there. But I've actually wanted to make your own McDonald's, like buy characters, buy tables, buy this and that. You actually hire employees, but that could affect you losing money, so you have to pay them.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And if you get too low money and you can't pay your employees, it's going to end up killing you. Wait, what? I don't know who said that. Definitely not a hint to the plot.
Oh yeah, definitely not. This next question is from Funtime Phantom Foxy. Why did you switch from Disney to Mac Tonight themed FNAF fan games?
Well, I didn't want to keep doing Disney-related FNAF fan games, and at some point I'm going to be burnt out on ideas. And as said, by being shown to Mac Tonight by Manatee, and then decided to go into my own path, ideas just went on from there of what could be evolved around this McDonald's character.
It's interesting going back and looking at your old Treasure Island games and then looking at your newest Mac games. It's a huge change.
With the Fanati games, it was just mainly pre-made assets, but with the Mac Tonight series, everything is actually made by me and others who helped out with, like Ramen or Memis, I forgot his name. But he did help out with some objects too in the original Mac Tonight.
This next question is from Man Person Human Giraffe. That's an interesting name. What were some scrapped mechanics and characters throughout all the games?
Well, in Mac Tonight 2 Remastered, there was going to be a caffeine mechanic where there would be that little cup on the table would actually be coffee.
I remember you talking about that. There'd be a coffee thing. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, so basically seeing how you're awake overnight, and like me, I can't last through the entire night without dozing off when I'm watching Bud stream or something. So with a coffee mechanic, I think something like that could help you keep more awake, and sometimes the screen would actually start fading to black. Don't get your coffee in time, you end up falling asleep, and then as soon as you know it, you get killed by a character who just entered and the game over. But along with other mechanics, there's still that one from the Manatee version with the window down to Mac's fingers, and Mac was going to be the only character in that game for it to be a one night, but I never knew what the main mechanic was going to be when he would come through the door in front of you. So I was never really told about that, but that would be about nearly all the mechanics for was scrapped.
And there was Happy too, right? From Mac Tonight 3?
Oh, yes, but I don't think he was really a mechanic, but he was more like a Grimace character, where he would climb into the pipes, into the plumbing system, and he'd actually block one of them, make it unusable. But he was quickly scrapped because for it to be on the big barge, he wouldn't fit in with the time zone it was set in. As well, it would just make the game kind of luck-based.
Yeah, it would have made it really luck-based, unless there was like an easy way to get rid of him.
He was quickly scrapped, and the game just went on from there.
Alright, this next one is from Not Irishman. Why did you use the Mac Tonight character? I think he's thinking, like, if you made, the McDonald's themed FNAF game, like, why did you choose Mac Tonight out of any of the other characters to be in the spotlight?
Well, I said, upon from the other questions, I was shown to it by Manatee, and with Mac Tonight, I think he's more of an iconic character in the McDonald's characters, because like he's one that hardly anyone's ever seen before. No one's ever heard of him. It's from the 1980s, mainly the 1980s being what the FNAF timeline was set in, and that time zone, anything could have happened. And this iconic mascot, I think that since no one knew what he was and hardly anything was done on him, using this character there being a bit of a difference, making people realize who he is. But I never knew the real reason why Manatee chose this one out of anything. Like, well, then again, another game, Five Nights at Ronald's, I actually talked to the developer about once when he found out about Mac Tonight. And he seemed interested in it. But if I did enough for Five Nights at Ronald's, I don't think that would have really ended well, because people assume I'm copying.
Yeah, that's always. I remember people were already saying that Mac Tonight was copying Five Nights at Ronald's.
I was getting framed for copying Five Nights at Ronald's in the McDonald's setting, but with Mac Tonight, it's where the star and new settings, new mechanics. It's a really low chance that I was copying, and he doesn't really own McDonald's. No one does except for the guy who actually runs it. But I actually didn't intend to copy him. Like, I wasn't trying to anyways, if people thought that. But the idea just had to go with it.
Oh, this one's an interesting one. Scrap Molten Lefty Afton asks, why was Terramac in the Halloween update?
He must be like the original.
Yeah, original Halloween, yeah.
I involved him because the original fan are like another very
One more very in there.
Very old version of Max Night 3. The original idea was to be like a bit like FNAF 4. It's in a nightmare.
That would have been cool. After I saw the original trailer that you uploaded for that. That was interesting. I kind of liked it, but
yeah, but
it would have been cool.
But you said I was copying FNAF 4, so I quickly ditched it.
Yeah, it was a lot like FNAF 4. Like
yeah, but the idea of it being in a nightmare, and Halloween is just all about scares and nightmares. I thought that was an actual advantage for me to actually show off the character.
Yeah, it was a good way to use it too. And
yeah, he's a nightmare. Halloween, all about nightmares and such. I saw it as a perfect opportunity to get him in the spotlight for once.
Yeah, and spotlight he was in. He was interesting.
People liked him.
Yeah.
As well with Terror, it's kind of an inspiration of a very old, somehow popular character I made back in the Finale series. It was just called Terror. It was like in the NBD series. Basically, Terror would be all the nightmares crushed into one being, like fusioned into one being, and it made him like a Mickey with a purple face, a bit of features nearly from every single one. But for some reason, a lot of people liked him.
Me being one of them. Terramac was cool. This next one is from Wolf's Ghostly Arts. Of the Five Nights at Mac Tonight games, which one was your favorite to make, least favorite to make, and scariest one to make?
Mac Tonight 2 Remastered, Mac Tonight 2, and Halloween Special.
So you think Halloween Special was the scariest?
Yes, I think Halloween Special was one of the scariest because... Not just because it's in a horror attraction, because of the chance and the jump scare attraction.
I agree. That got me a couple times.
As well with the atmosphere of sounds playing throughout the attraction in the background. You'd hear a witch laugh, you hear a scream, you hear breathing to your left or right to make you think somebody's there.
And the footsteps. Boom.
Yeah,
boom.
The footsteps.
I thought that was a heartbeat at first, but then y'all told me no, it was footsteps.
As we're at it, the footsteps. Big credit to Soltron, the guy who made helped make Toby Land Return. He made the footsteps. He made the jump scare sounds. He did quite a lot of help with the Halloween Special, so I have to thank him for that.
Yeah, he did a good job. This next one is from Jiffany. How long did it take to design everything and code it in?
Coding, not so long. Making, that was a righteous pain, especially with Mac Tonight. I said, making a crescent moon for a head, getting the shape right and putting a face on it isn't the easiest thing to ever do.
It's like, it sounds easy, but then when you sit down to actually do it, and...
Yeah, you just sat there for ages, just looking at it. It just doesn't look right, but I eventually got there in all of them, so I'm glad that I actually got some final designs.
This next one is from Venom Panda. What did Grimace say in Five Nights at Mac Tonight 1 original? Did Grimace speak at all in that one? I think all he did was laugh, right?
Yeah, all he did was laugh. I don't ever recall him having actual scripts. So he just laughed in it.
He was like, or something like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I'll chuck in an audio clip for you just for what he sounded like.
Boy, and following up to what you were previously saying from Matthew Brooks, who's the hardest character to design? I assume that's Mac.
Tonight.
Yep, I can understand that. Our next question is from Chandaking4. What inspired Kris?
Ooh,
that's a good one. I think that's a good question.
Yeah, Kris, he wasn't originally going to be in this version for me and Lamps were doing, but for some reason me and Lamps just had this idea of the caller to actually have something happen to him, and instead of him just disappearing, nothing happening to him, like just gone out of existence, Thanos snapped. We decided to to actually you make the phone guy part of the story and actually become possessed in a Mac head, and the Mac head in the office is actually supposed to be the head from the second game, just way older because
Really? I didn't know that.
yeah, it's supposed to be the second game head, because after the events of Max Night 2, they were shipped off back to a factory. The engineers basically didn't know about the damaged circuitry, which caused them to behave that way. So they only replaced with clothing, and they just shipped them off. And the Mac head was kind of with that, so they just slapped it in the office, just in case, they may need it.
Wow, the more you know. I never knew that. I never knew that was the one from the second
the name
game.
Kris. The name Kris didn't just come out of nowhere for me and Liquid. There's a small channel, but I like to watch in my spare time, and he just streams of old games. And he does Mega Man, he does Metroid, and he's a really chill guy to watch. And if I recall, his name is Kris Damson or Donson.
Oh.
And he's like 100 under 100 subscribers. I'll link you if you want to. But I just one day stumbled across him, and I just felt the calm stream and just watching him play and chatting with him. He's a fun guy to talk to, really a good guy you can get along with. So seeing his name Kris, I just thought, just maybe reference him a bit. And I was originally going to get at him to see if he could voice Kris, but I think he was busy at the time.
Interesting.
So that was going to be the original voice of Kris.
Interesting. More you know. Next one is from Costa Vesta. This is kind of a lengthy one, but I'll do my best to get this in one take. Will Five Nights with Bud be the last FNAF game you work on? If so, do you have any future plans of what games you will make, like RPG or platformers and etc.? And what program will you use to make your newer games, like Unreal Engine 4 or still Click Team Fusion, etc.?
So much to take in there, but first, RPGs, a big no. I don't think I'm that type who will make RPG games. Not really a big fan of them. I like playing them. Just making them doesn't really seem like that type of job for me.
Same.
Original games like on Unreal Engine 4, trying to learn it right now. So that might be. I've got to see if I can get something out on that, unless I just end up giving up and leaving on the shelf for dust stuff. Five Nights with Bud isn't the final one. I'm still having to help Rapid, a friend of mine, with his FNAF brand game, Pyromania.
I'll be playing that.
The fire. Pyromania, yeah. Fire Within the Die or something like that. And I'm helping him with CG modeling and booms. So after those, I'm not very sure, to be honest. Might end up making a Five Nights with Bud too. Who said that?
What? This next one is an interesting one from Thunderclouds. Do you think Kris is evil?
Kris, I wouldn't really say he's evil. To me, I wouldn't say he's evil. He's just a guy who's just trying to get revenge for what happened. Because if you guys remember from Max Night 2, I think, or it was Max Night 1. Yeah, I think it was Max Night 1. Kris, acted by 39, great guy, great acting.
Right.
Daughter was in the hospital because they had trouble with food. They have trouble buying food, paying taxes, and Kris didn't have a job. And the mother, already explained. So Kris was working at the McDonald's until suddenly the McDonald's was under construction. So all the money went into that, renovations, animatronics. They didn't really have much left. And
I can imagine.
The employees had time off until it's done, and Kris had no money, and people would say, he works at McDonald's, just bring back some food. Thing is, no one was in to cook the food. So, with that, it was hard for him to find places. Some would say, just go to a food shelter, or just get some people to help you. It's a game logic.
Yeah, video game logic. It's FNAF. You don't have to get that far into logic.
Yeah, but that's why Kris is like that. He's just trying to make get revenge, something like that. You know.
And he's turned evil not by choice, by the the Mactonite head.
By his sanity, I would say.
Yeah.
What's happened? Lost everything and it's broken.
Yeah, you kind of feel bad for him.
And in the first game, basically the McDonald's is all fixed and that, it's all good, and he's just trying to blend in being the new manager, and people don't know he's the one who killed the manager, but until he gets killed by Mac, which is in the Fifth Night Call, people just say, why does he try and kill the players? Because he says there's a certain quote where he says he can't let you out after seeing this. So if the player sees Kris like that, I don't think he'd be around for very much longer. So he needs to dispose of all evidence, all witnesses. I just go into hiding.
This next question is from some random guy. What is a Hamburglar? I really want to hear P&M answer this.
What is a Hamburglar? Well, if you do your research, Hamburglar is a short midget-like character from the McDonald's land, most likely, and he's dressed up as a burglar, and he steals hamburgers. It's not really much else I can say about that.
Yep, that's pretty much it. That's what he is. Our next question is from the Mario Bros. Production. Did you ever think about including Sunday, Ronald McDonald's dog?
I would, but 2 reasons. 1, trying to model him would be a pain. It's a dog with a face like that. That would be rather difficult. And adding on, with the Forgotten Ones, he's already been included in that. So
right.
Even if I use Captain Crook, I don't want to look like that. Both my game and their game are using the exact same characters, so I just decided not to use it as well. I don't really think I'd be able to have any ideas for a character like Sunday or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see him in a game, but yeah, knowing how he would work is the hard part. This next one is from the Kirby Genius. What are your favorite and least favorite mechanics to code in the Five Nights at Max Night series?
I've already mentioned about the original second game and its alarms. Least favorite that. But if I were to have a favorite mechanic code, would be the water mechanic from Max Night 3.
And I was partly responsible for coming up with that.
Oh yeah, the one who made up with it, and just the fact of using your surroundings to recharge, like using the ocean around you because you want a boat, recharge with water and use it against them, pretty unique, and it's like one of those alien movies where they throw buckets of water over them, like that's a work.
Yeah, Max Night 3 was such a good game. That was one of that and Max Night 2 Remastered are definitely 2 of my favorites. We've only got a couple questions left now. This next one's from Ryan K. What will you do now that you've finished the series? Max Night. Chill. Yes, it's a great answer. Then our last one is from Thunderclouds again. I guess this is mostly a joke question. Will you ever post your Five Nights at Max Night models on the Steam Workshop?
No.
Boy, the dramatic reveal of no.
Never. I do not share my models because people just use them in crap projects or things with crap ideas, and especially with people new to the software, they'll just make them just have their arms stuck out and just one stuck up there like it's some kind of Minecraft character.
Oh man, I can imagine how that would look.
So that's why I don't really give them out, because with me spending so much hard work on these, just for people to mess around with them like that or try just make them look stupid, I just wouldn't really put up with.
Yeah, I can understand that. Oh, that was it, guys. I've gone through all the questions. Yes, go subscribe to P&M. Link to his channel will be in the description. Yes, you do. But yeah, thank you, P&M, for being here, doing this interview. It was awesome to, ask all these questions.
Can you untie me now? Get this thing away from me. Come on, I've done the job, now pay me.
Here, I'll pay you in chicken wings. I want to thank all you guys for sending in all your questions. A lot of them were the same type of questions, so if I skipped over your question, it was because it was already asked before by someone else. So don't feel discouraged. If you didn't see your question, it was basically answered by P&M earlier. That's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions that you didn't ask, feel free to ask in the comments. And if P&M has time, he probably can reply to them. or no. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. If you didn't subscribe today to join the Smiley Clan, go and subscribe to P&M. Link is in the description if you guys like seeing other gameplay content. And go follow the Mech Tonight games and play them if you haven't, because I highly recommend them. They are a lot of fun to play through. And yeah, so I think that should be it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay smart, my friends. Peace out. Bye-bye, guys. Have a good day. I see that L.